So, disclaimers before we start whatever this is going to turn out to be. I don't know how regularly these are going to come out because I have no schedule. I don't know how much work I'm going to get in the future, so there's that. Also, this series will be covering most of the Odyssey, however, I might possibly do a series on the Aeneid and the Iliad, but I will only be doing the set books for the OCR A2 course at first. I might do the rest of them if I can be bothered again, and if I have time again, or if I even have the energy for it, who knows. But again, we'll just have to see. Only the future knows. Also, I don't know if I'm actually going to complete this series. I'm probably going to stop at some point, knowing me and my habits. But, you know, we might finish a series. Maybe I'll have the willpower to do that, but again, I don't know. And also, final disclaimer, there will probably be some pretty bad language in these videos. I don't know how bad it's going to get. I don't know how far down that hole we're going to go. But, you know, just as a little warning, and please, as a result of that, don't show your teachers this series, because I know how cool your teachers are with swearing and bad language and stuff, but I'd imagine they wouldn't be very cool with it, so maybe don't show them. You can show your friends, you can show your classmates, but maybe don't show it in front of the whole class. Save yourself that. I'm warning you now, so you know, because I know that feeling of when you accidentally show a video to the class and then you realise last minute that there is swearing in it and you're like, oh no, oh dear, and the teacher's right. This is a blessing to you, trust me. But anyway, without further ado, let's get on with Book 1 of the Odyssey. So, it starts off with a little invocation to the muses, as does pretty much every epic you're ever going to read. Although Homer did start this trend first, your boy. And it talks about Odysseus' travels and how, because he's such a great leader, he managed to kill the entirety of his crew. Although it wasn't entirely his fault because they ate some beef that belonged to a god named Hyperion, and they probably shouldn't have done that. And he did technically warn them, but we'll get onto that book 12? I think it's book 12 if we ever get to that book. But then after this little invocation, we cut to the assembly of the gods, which is happening, very importantly, while Poseidon is off with the Ethiopians, enjoying a little sacrifice with them, eating all that cow, that sheep. I can't remember what they sacrifice. I don't even know if he even mentions what they sacrifice, but they sacrifice something, and Poseidon's joining in on that action because, you know, you gotta, when someone's sacrificing to you, you gotta accept their offerings. That was my phone. I'm very sorry about that. And at this assembly, they're talking about Aegisthus, who, if you did not know, is Clytemnestra's lover, who in some stories helped her kill Agamemnon, who is the guy who led the Greeks in the Trojan War. And he helped Clytemnestra kill Agamemnon. And the gods are like, yeah, that wasn't a cool move because he actually killed Agamemnon outside of his own fate. He wasn't even supposed to do that in Destiny, and we tried to send Hermes down to tell him not to, but did he listen? No. And look where he got. He's also dead now. So, there you go. And then Athena butts in and it's like, hey, guys, I understand you want to talk about Aegisthus right now, but can we talk about Odysseus? Can we talk about what he's gone through? And then we find out, thanks to her, that Odysseus is being held back on Aegygia, Calypso's island, because Poseidon got a little bit mad about Odysseus hurting his son Polyphemus, who is a Cyclops. And again, we're going to be meeting him again in book 9, I believe. And that's going to be a fun book. A lot of things happen in that book, oh boy. And Athena is like, hey, guys, can we, like, maybe send down Hermes to Aegisthus to, like, talk it out with Calypso and maybe set this ball rolling to actually get Odysseus back to his home, maybe? Because it's been a while. It's been, like, I can't remember how many years it's been at this point. I want to say 10. I want to say it's been 10 years since it's been back. I'll probably edit in this video what the actual amount of time has been away from I was going to say Aegisthus, that's the wrong island. Ithaca has been, but who knows. And she's like, and while he's doing that, I'm going to go down to Telemachus, who's Odysseus' little boy. He's not so little anymore, he's like teenager, to hold an assembly and like try and get the suitors to go away and then go on a little trip to Pylos and Sparta to actually find out some shit about his dad. And then she goes down to Ithaca dressed as Mentes, who is apparently a family friend. And notices that everything has basically gone to shit because of the wonderful phenomenon that we all know and love in our current society of fuckboys. But in this case, they're called suitors, and they're like pining after like Telemachus's probably middle-aged mother, which is like, I don't know how old these suitors are, but like if they're like Telemachus's age, probably like young adult-ish, so a little bit older, that's still questionable, you know. Like, I get the appeal, I get that people are like, oh yeah, older women, I want to get in on that, but like, there are other women out there, and like even throughout this book we see them like going after maids and stuff. But anyway, digression. So Telemachus welcomes Mentes / Athene and is like, hey, yeah, the suitors have been living off all my shit since my dad has been gone. And then he like goes up to Athene / Mentes and is like, so like, who are you? Where do you come from? Why are you here? And she like kind of answers those questions. It's like, oh yeah, I'm Mentes, I lead this tribe. And then she's like, but I also heard that your dad is still alive. And Telemachus is like, that's not what everyone's been saying. Everyone thinks he's dead. But like, my mum still doesn't want to remarry anyways, so like, who knows? Who knows if he's dead, but he is probably dead. And Athene is like, okay, listen, hold an assembly, try and get the suitors to fuck off your property, and then get your mum to have her dad, who is your granddad, arrange a new marriage for her, and then go off to Pylos and Sparta and ask about your dad, because there might be a higher possibility that he isn't actually dead. Can't say for sure, but he probably isn't dead. And then she like tries to hype him up by using Orestes as an example and be like, look, it's fine. If he could like avenge his dad or whatever, then, you know, maybe you can get rid of these suitors. I'm just saying, it's happened before. Also, you're probably going to hear a lot of like references to the Orestes story. I say the Orestes story. There have been other adaptations of the same story, but like, if you want, you can look up what happened to Agamemnon and how he died, because that'll probably help you understand most of the context when it comes in, because like they reference Agamemnon's death like a few times in this, I was going to say book. It's not technically a book, it's a poem, but like they reference it like 5 times, so like maybe look up a basic plot summary of that. It shouldn't be long. It's literally Agamemnon gets killed by his wife, and then his son avenges his death by killing his mum. It's great. Anyway, Penelope then comes in. She comes down to the hall place, while Phemius, a bard, I was going to say ballad, that's not the right term, bard, is playing a little ballad about the Trojan War, and she cries about it, understandably, because it like reminds her of her husband, and she's like, oh, my husband is gone. And then Telemachus comes up to her and is like, okay, mum, I get you sad, but also stop crying. And then he just sends her off to her room, like, go away, mum, you're making everyone sad. And then Telemachus announces that, hey, I'm going to hold an assembly. And the suitors are like, okay then. Okay, who is this bitch, though? Who's this bitch trying to hold an assembly? And Telemachus is trying to act all like, he's in control and shit. But it's not, and he just goes up to his room. And that's the end of book 1. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.